Hello, I'm back. I thought I'd do a little bit of a piece to camera. It's been a while since I've done anything mentioned to do with this baby. This is the couldnt Happy book, the journal, in fact. We are now on to a new month. I'd sort of fallen out of sorts with this book. I was planning on doing it on a regular day-to-day basis and then doing a bit of like a feedback. Obviously, I'm not going to sit and do a lot of months have passed since I last done anything. Don't worry, I'm not going to be doing that. Last month, you know, it's been a while since I sorted this book out. And for me, I had a breather from this book. I know it's a wellness, well-being book. I have got my eyes open. It just looks like I'm sitting here with my eyes shut. I don't know if you'd be able to tell the difference, but because I've got my glasses off. See, I have got my eyes open. Can't see the pages without, but I do like I've been asleep. It's like when the old photographs with paper photographs, and you never knew what you're gonna get until the film was sort of went off, was sent off for like a week to 2 weeks, and then you got your pictures back and it was exciting. And it was like how many pictures that you had in poses that were like the most unflattering pictures. They were like something like, or or you had your eyes like completely shut, or the red eyes when you looked half decent. So it was like, geez Louise. I had a break from this book around about the time I just fell out of love with this, and it wasn't due to anything in particular, but it was, well, yes, it was actually. I at the time was being checked out for uterine cancer. I'd had an op done and biopsies and all sorts of things going on. I did D&C. Then there was the long wait for the results, and it just felt like such a tunnel of emotion, waiting on the results to know whether you've got something that's potentially life-threatening or not. And at the time as well, I had issues with care person that I had, as I used to label them as my PA, my personal assistant, where they come and do a bit of light cleaning and help with shopping, and then the person would let me down, and was a friend as well, so it made things really awkward, and I didn't like to sort of make a big issue out of things. But when you are with health issues and you're reliant on that person to help you, you're sort of stuck without them. And yeah, I think I did some of my makeup videos and shopping vids, but that's about it. I didn't focus much on other things. I just wasn't really in the mood for a lot of things, and I didn't want to come across as like I'm not in the mood, but I wasn't in the mood. And then I got out of the routine of doing this. And then I thought, you know what? It was the beginning of July. And I thought, I've missed a few months out. Shall I go back? And I did some of the pages, some of the things where they give you like little mini goals of things to do for the day, write about this and how this has made you feel, and all that sort of stuff. But there were some things that didn't apply to me, sort of going for walks and upping your steps. I'm like, or I don't know, just things where it was like a statement rather than anything to do with anything. But the quote, "You can't pour from an empty cup, take care of yourself first," for me was huge. And I thought, yeah, I need to sort of get back into this in my own step. So I just I said to my son, I says, I'm doing the journal from June, or was it May? I don't know. But anyway, he was like, we're in July now. And I'm like, I know. I said, I'm not doing every single day, but I just want to sort of get myself back into doing this because it's been a while since I've done it. So July was basically, this month can be awfully exciting. Perhaps a little holiday, maybe some fun outdoor birthday parties or a weekend at a music festival. We were supposed to be going away on holiday. We were supposed to have gone Llandudno, but we couldn't afford it. Like, me and my son were supposed to have gone with mum and dad. We went last year. We've been going for like years, me and my son, and it was great. We have a taxi go down, rather than the stress of driving and parking up and all that stuff. And we were supposed to have gone, but due to the adaptions sort of being put there in the atmosphere, waiting to be done, I thought we didn't. We couldn't afford it. Life got in the way, so we decided to move it to next year and see what happens. The possible heat. Summer clothes and sense of adventure can be quietly intoxicating and a lot of fun. Woo-hoo. I love this month and always try to let that bit go. More focused on the mantra, you only live once. What I sometimes forget to bear in mind is balance. This is when I usually reach my personal limit and feel I'm fit to burst. I'm chasing my tail with family life, my job, my trying to socialise on top of it all. Oh, aren't you lucky? I tend to get run down in these moments, which gives me no choice but to take a look at how I'm dividing up my time. Use this month to gain balance in it all. There is room for all of it. Fun, work, family and adventure. Well, I wouldn't know about a lot of those things. Adventure, fun, work and family. But we have to know our own limits and also our priorities. For me, it'll always work. Always be work and family. But this month allows me to dive into fun a bit more as it's everywhere. Your balance may be partying that bit too much and you know that there's room for more rest and downtime. Maybe your work-life balance is a little off. I hate these sort of books. They get me down. You try to pick yourself up out of a hole, but when you're disabled and, literally Groundhog Day for yourself is every day. Work doesn't apply. Meeting friends, my friends have all dropped off because of my health. And also my abusive exes. They sort of keep you away from everybody and isolation, so you're on your own. And then I've moved, a friend of mine moved. Your circles suddenly change. It is what it is. I used to go to Weight Watchers group, For me, it was just the fact that I went on a Tuesday night, stood on the scales, sat in the meeting even when I didn't need to go because I got to goal weight. I still went just as a purpose, just to get out of the home and a bit of routine, because that was my routine. And it gave me people to chat to. Although when I was going before we moved, all the regular faces that used to be there, their lifestyles had all changed. Some of them had moved away. One lady, she lost her husband due to COVID. There was just so much going on. It's just one of those people stopped going. The Weight Watchers leader was a bit full on. and a bit too much at times. Like people were starting to realise that Weight Watchers actually was just a money grabbing con, but hey, we won't go there. And then I got to go away as soon as I went vegan, you know, X amount of weeks I got to go, and I did it. And then my mate moved away. She had to start a new life, no choice. And then we had to move. And so it felt like I've gone full circle with Weight Watchers. I didn't find a purpose for going anymore. The faces that were there, just nobody wanted to chit chat, and they were all in their own little groups. So it's things like that. Work out your own inner barometer and listen to what it is telling you. When we are balanced, it's always easier to access that inner happiness. Bloody hell, someone going past with a big bike. So yeah, that month of July was about balance and listening to our bodies, not to do certain things, doing things outside of our comfort zone, being a little bit more adventurous. My sense of adventure is doing a bit of motorway driving, but with my legs as they are now, I still haven't gone. My achievement, I had goals set. I know I'm thinking faster than my mouth wants to speak. So everything's just coming out at you like, yeah, one of my mini goals was to get myself motorway driving and to go to IKEA. It's something I really want to do. I want to be able to take my son down there, but I just do not have the balls to do motorway driving. I've done it a couple of times with my dad. You know, he's like, oh, just hop on. And the one time that me and my mum ended up on the motorway, it took us 40 minutes to drive down from where we are in sunny Stafford to Nottingham, the motor point, for Strictly Come Dancing. That was the last road trip we did, the last road trip I've done. And it took us 3 hours to get back. I had to do stops because my legs just couldn't cope. That was fun. It was the most terrifying experience. I was like, I don't like this. So, yeah. That was just awful. So yeah, I sort of fast forwarded through sections of May, June, July. I sort of tackled as much as I was able. As it says here, you can do anything, but not everything. You know, listen to your inner voice, write down what you want to do today, have some balance in your life, not to sort of be afraid to say no, basically, that kind of a thing. Get back to simplicity. Count to 50. I try to cram so much into each day that sometimes I rush through everything. This causes clumsiness and lack of awareness. If we stop here and there and count and breathe, we can get back to a much calming pace. You know, I always say take your time, no rush. Give yourself one thing to do. I don't sort of challenge myself to go here and there and everywhere. I just say, right, okay, I'm going to go to this shop today and the other one I'll do tomorrow. You know, that's sort of a thing. I don't overload my basket. It says here, this is one thing that made me laugh. Turn your phone off in the evening. Choose a time that feels right for you and make sure you don't go back on your digital curfew until breakfast the next day. See, the thing is though, when your mobile phone becomes your friend because you don't see anybody, you don't really chat to anybody, it is your only company apart from my cats. My son has spent most of his time he's either at work, at the gym, out with friends. You know, it's difficult. So there's like, I'm here. And it's sort of like where people used to have the radio on as a bit of background noise, isn't it, for company? That's what my phone is like for me. God, I don't want to make myself feel really down and depressed. This book's supposed to be uplifting, you know. Hey, so I did myself, see, the 17th of July it was more like a statement than anything else, and it really did annoy me because I like, you know, sort of stimulation of little things each day. So I decided to give myself some little mini goals, set myself some things, trying to work, I'm trying to read my writing here now, trying to work on mini treats to myself, there we go. So it's like trying to make things as cheaply as possible. I needed some more of my Lime Life, the green smoothie refill, a moisturiser that my skin absolutely loves on my face. And it is the one thing my skin absolutely loves. I've got some Botanics range of products, moisturisers, I've got serums that are great, but they are definitely, in some cases, a thinner product. So my skin likes them, like it loves the serums, absolutely loves those. It loves the eye serum, it loves my Lime Life eye serum, the eye believe. The green smoothie it loves. The evening moisturiser from Botanics it likes. But the daytime moisturiser that I use in between some days of not using the Lime Life green smoothie, it's like, I don't mind it, but it makes my jaw area a little itchy. So it's like the skin is trying to come back. It's like having a tug of war between you and your body. So I sort of will do like, you know, think, right, okay, today I'm going to use this, but tomorrow I'll use that instead. Just to make things a bit more balanced. I can't read that from down there. The Currys account, I've had a nosy to see what's left to be paid because I've got 2 appliances. My cooker, I have got something like 10 payments left to make, or it can be £100 paid off. And then my upright freezer, I have got something like 4 payments left. So it's working out whether I can knock another one of those off. Like the freezer may actually be paid off soon, which I'm really pleased about. I've got Klarna with an item that needs paying for on that, which isn't a huge expense, but it was something that I needed for my legs, a cushion, and I needed it right that minute, and Klarna was waving at me from the payments section of, oh, you can, you know, order it and pay for it later. And, you know, all sense and everything goes out the window, doesn't it, when you're trying to sort of pay things off and you're in a shitty situation because you've got no money till another week, but your legs really need that, or your body needs that, or this is broken and that's happened, and so you just think, sod it, I'll do it, I'll get it and then I'll pay for it off. And then my power chair has got, I'll put it out there to the Cosmoverse now, I've got 760 to pay. So I'm trying now to really whittle that down in the next sort of, get some more paid off on that. And then in the bedroom, I want a blanket box to be able to put all, because I've got like loads and loads of picture frames with pictures in, and as lovely as they are, and they're just sitting there in these boxes, and some of the frames are quite tatty looking. So what I'm going to do is I've got this blanket box I've had reserved at an online charity shop that I've always taken my plastic down and all my recycling and that, and they're always listing something that I always find amazing. So the plan is that I've got this blanket box coming, so all my pictures, I'm going to take the frames off, and I'm just going to store all my pictures in this blanket box. So then that'll look better. That'll be another section of my room that is completely and utterly tidy and looking nicer. Polishing a turd, really. I've got a massive jewellery box that looks like a mirror, and it's like a little mirror cupboard, and it's gorgeous. But the cats, when we moved in, they decided to try and stand on it and sent it flying, and it's only by sheer luck that it caught on something and stopped it from falling entirely, but a part of the legs completely just collapsed. Although my dad has fixed them and sort of put like splints on this cupboard. You know, it's trying to sort of make it okay, but the balance on it isn't right. We were talking about balance again. So it's got a lean to it, and it's got a bungee cord round it because the lock's broken and the door keeps swinging open with all my jewellery in. So at the minute I've got it in my room just there, and I'm thinking it's lucky it hasn't gone again. So I want to get another one of those. I've got a blanket box that I've got to pick up. Shoe organisers I bought, and they're literally hooked on by shower curtain hooks onto my wardrobe doors. So at least I can then reach and grab a pair of shoes, put them on and put them back, so they're not just chucked onto the bedroom floor. You know how it is, you go into like teenage mode, I suppose. You think, oh, I'll deal with them later, and they never do. So they look nice and neat. My bags are in an organiser as well. So that's that bit. What else have I got? Oh yeah, I've got a toolbox as well, reserved on the online charity shop. All my little tools, and I haven't got many. I've got a couple of like screwdrivers and hammer, and this is a female toolbox after all. They're all in like a vanity box. It's like, that'll do for now. No one would ever think it's my toolbox in a million years. And then a toolbox was listed on this online charity thing, and I was like, get in, I'll have that. So for a £5, I've got something that looks decent. And then I'm planning on getting some little tools and, keeping them all in there. So if anybody comes to put me some flat pack together or do me some DIY and they go, oh, have you got this? Have you got that? I don't look at them and go, no. Okay. Does your body feel balanced? If not, why? What's weighing you down? And I put, no, very mithered, waiting on adaptions, a bed, not instead of sofa to sleep on. Care persons needed to do me a few tasks. I feel frustrated, feel really stressed out. It's hard. People don't understand. And then there's the isolation, because my friend who was my care person, she was fab. I mean, we used to have loads and loads of girly chit chats and stuff, but circumstances happened, and she's doing her own thing now with her own health. But all she had to do was to be honest. That's the thing. I hate it, being let down. And you think the person can't be asked to come and help you out, when in fact all she had to turn around and say was, do you know what, my arthritis is starting to play me up. I filled in a form for PIP. I'm waiting to hear whether I've got it or not. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to help you with your care work. Maybe I could just do helping you with the shopping or something, but I can't do it. I'm really, really struggling. I'm afraid you're going to have to get someone else in. You know, putting me in the picture would have been better than just ignoring and just not doing anything. So I did feel very let down and very on my own. So yeah. And then my escape time for myself is basically my little garden space. I don't have much of a little garden, but I do have a little bit, and I absolutely love it. I go out there and have a little potter around. I water my plants. I just have a loose around with the soil. It's just nice. It just gives me a bit of me time back, and it's fabulous. And I got to go to a garden centre, and I've not done that in ages. I took my parents down. I said, do you want to go? And they were like, yeah. So we went and had a little mooch around. And then we went home again. And I managed to treat myself to a couple of new little plants. And I've got a few bits left to go in, little patches where I need plants to go in, and that's it. My garden space will be full, but I've got some pots to get, and you know, I love it. It just, at my last address, I used to have a huge garden space. You had to love a garden to love where, you know, to be where I was. But my health rapidly declined. So then I had to get garden people in, and when you're paying somebody to do the bit that you used to really enjoy, it doesn't become an enjoyment anymore, and it becomes really frustrating. So I was very pleased, you know, when I hardly went out in the garden. I sat outside on my little slabbed bit of an area with a little deck chair, and that's all I used to do. But that was it. I couldn't do any of the gardening, and I just paid these garden people a ridiculous amount of money for them to come and do what I would have loved to have done. But hey. But I did have a new chap that's moved in upstairs. Nice chap. He says, your garden is absolutely beautiful, which is really nice. I love it. There's a few of us that have really got nice little garden areas of our own on our flats. And I've got my slabbed area, and I've got borders, and I'm starting to make it my own. I've got some hanging basket brackets put up, and I've bought some compost, and I've used some old towels, which was my dad's idea, what he uses for liners for baskets. He says, oh, just use some old towels. So I did. And my son was like, why have we got old towels in the hanging baskets? He just didn't get it. But anyway, so I filled the compost in these brackets, and that's as far as I got. So my plan of action at some point is either to get some autumn winter flowering plants to go in those, or just leave them till spring now and think sod it. So I can't wait to get things like busy lizzies and I don't know, whatever else that looks really nice in a hanging basket. That's the plan. But I think I'm probably going to leave them now because we're in August and everything is on the run down now. Some of my plants I'm trying to sort of trim down and tidy them up a bit and have it ready for the dreaded autumn winter. I want to get a couple of autumn winter flowers. Yeah, some nice little bits. Just to look pretty. Anyway. Then one of the things on here is learning to say no. Saying sorry, I can't do it today. Not sort of wishing you could say no. I find it hard, but there are times where I just have to think, do you know what, I'm really sorry, but I can't do it. My body just cannot physically do it. So there we have it. And then the best bit about July was at the end of the month, I had a phone call from a chap that, oh God, she knows, I don't know what it is. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had a phone call quite literally at the end of the month. And I'm waiting on adaptions for my flat, and it feels like, well, it has been. It's coming up to 2 years. 19th of August is 2 years we moved in. And as soon as I moved in, I had to do a new form to have adaptions for my flat, because where we lived at previously just was not suitable for the adaptions. A lot needed doing, in fact more needed doing than didn't, and the easier thing to do was to move. And when this place come up for me, it was like the right place at the right time in the area that I wanted to be in, and it just was like just meant to be. And I was so pleased when I got it. I had to have a medical assessment to say that I was absolutely desperate to, that my reason for moving was that I was a high risk with my health issues, with falls and things like that, and struggling with stairs and needed a wet room, and then my son and his epilepsy and how he was. It all was a great big picture of things. So anyway, the end of July has been such a very, very, very long wait. I had end of June, beginning of July. In June, I had a lady that came out to do an assessment list, which just seemed to have been waiting for an eternity, and then again, waiting. Then I've had a lady that's a builder come out to do her own knock on all the walls and all the rest of it, and assessments, and make a snag list of what needs doing. And she's the one that does all the big arranging, like getting the surveying in and quotes and all this sort of thing. And then it was a case of, right, we've got to wait some more. So perfect. And then end of the month, end of July, I had a phone call, and it's just by chance that I picked it up because it was about to ring off. And it was a chap to do with doorways. And he says, I need to come out to do a surveyor's report, and to do, like, he was there tapping the walls and, in the doors and around the door frames and all that sort of stuff. And then he has to do all the measurements and check how the flats are all supported, whether it's all supporting walls, whether it's beams, whether it's this, whether it's that. What kind of walls, what kind of, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, he came over, quite a nice chap, Percy came over and started licking his hand as he was kneeling down on the floor to sort of do these pictures and diagrams and take photographs and all this, that and the other. And yeah. And then he says, I've got to do a snag list now of what needs to be done, what type of door frames. And he did go into technical terms, but not so technical because I'm not very technically minded. Yeah, so that's what we did. And then he says, this week he's going to be doing pictures and diagrams and making a list of what needs to be done. And then he's going to have a talk to the lady that's doing all the one that's dealing with it all. And then we basically, I'll be able to get a phone call the following week to arrange to come out. So I was like, perfect. So that is just fantastic. So that's the state of play. And then August is now, which is like, hopefully I wake up and it's like, I just think to myself, oh, hopefully soon these adaptions, something's going to be happening. And then my door buzzes and I answer and I say I'm just coming because I've got an intercom thing. And it's a chap that stood there. I'm sort of half asleep, feeling around for a parcel. And it's like ready to grab from the postman. So he's so used to me. I'm like one of those old-fashioned money boxes, you know, where you put the coin on the top and it was a wind-up thing, and suddenly, like a coffin, and suddenly this hand would come out and grab the money and grab it and put it back in, you know, inside. So I was a bit like that when I'm half asleep, feeling around, and yeah. And there was this chap, I thought he didn't have any parcels in his hand, and I was like thinking, well, who are you then? And he says, I've come about your door. And I was thinking, which door now? Which door? And he says, I've got to, you've got an issue with your front door and not being able to get in it properly with your wheelchair. And I'm like, yeah. So he today sorted me out with an extra bit of threshold, so a sort of ramp. So when I come out of my flat, I've got to turn my speed down a bit, otherwise I'm like a woo, and I'll end up into next doors. So that's the situation at the minute. So he's done that, and then I messaged the woman on a text because I've got her mobile number, and I said, it's me again. I said, because I'm having a self-opening door, you see, press a button and my door will hold open. It'd be like Aladdin's cave, open sesame. And so instead of me struggling, trying to power the joystick, trying to hold the door open, trying to hold a bag, trying to get in over the threshold, hold everything, join this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I just thought, yeah. And anyway, she says she's just waiting on this surveyor's report over structure, and she says I have got quotes on it, and if the door is suitable, that of what you've got, we'll add the mechanism onto that. So it's like, hey, so we're on the roll. So August, I know I'm sort of kerfuffled and rambling a little bit, but that's just me. In August, I usually start to worry that summer is nearly over and I'll have to put away my flip-flops for another 8 months and start eating excessive amounts of soup. I never feel ready. This way of thinking is never great for happiness, as you're dreading the future, but not enjoying the now. So this month is all about the now. So this seems to fit in quite well, the now. The power of simply enjoying the moment you're in. Accepting where you are in your life and its ever-changing shape and what you have in this moment. It's so easy. We could change the past Oh, hang on, it's so easy to get sidetracked by what we think we need or want, or how we wish we could change the past, but August can act as a good thing. It's a good time to practice the deliciousness of now, enjoy the sounds and smells around you, and experience more fully what is really going on in you and around you. We at times miss so much of what's happening as we're focused on other things. We miss fleeting smiles, birds singing, intense tastes, and moments of personal growth. Use this time to relax into now. I keep getting a hair, and every time I breathe, it lifts up and tickles me on the lip. Use this time to relax into now and see what you notice that you might have been missing. So way up, right, so I've started, because I was couldn't be bothered the other day. 1st of August, don't worry about the past or worry about the future this month. For me, bringing it back to the now is the key to calming nerves and enjoying life in real time. Time feels as if it almost slows down as you savour every inhale and exhale. Try it now. Ooh, sorry. Do you know, I've done attempts at sort of deep, sort of breathing, bits of meditation. I can guarantee my son is always doing something to make me laugh. So I'm like giggling away, and instead of trying to be all zen and calm and everything, and he's there sort of doing this heavy breathing noises or, just making me laugh. So I put enjoy the now. Cats. Oh, the cats are on their vegan food journey. I hate that word journey. I used to hate it at Weight Watchers. Oh, we're on our own journeys, aren't we? Oh, we're on our... How's your journey going? I'm like, fuck's sake. Looking well compared to poorly. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. Waiting on adaptions. Measuring up the doorways. The wait to start. The wait to start is here. Hey, there we are. The now. Here. Here. Be present. 2nd of August. The past can bring us so much joy. Can it? As we recall rose-tinted memories of blissful times where worries didn't exist and the sun shone constantly. But it can also be a place full of regret that shouts so loudly you feel compelled to look back. Be honest about how it makes you feel here. Oh God, my itching ears. It's all my arthritis. It's terrible. Okay, so I regret not staying single after my second husband. Abuser after abuser after abuser after abuser. I do regret that. I do regret being caught up in the moment. I hated being on my own. I hated my own company. I hated my own company. I didn't know what it was like to be on my own, to learn to know who I was. I never appreciated to learn how to do it. So for me, it was a really, really, really big thing. When after this last abuser, I suddenly have just caught myself and thought, you know what? I need to know who I am. The last one really put me off wanting any bloke ever again, to be fair. I'm quite happy, just me, the cats, my son, and, slowly, the move has come at the right time. We needed to be out of that home. We needed to be away from all those people and the eyes of my last abuser, who used to be staring, watching me pack, being outside the home and watching me and, in the dark. And I've got photos of what he's taken, and you know, it's quite eerie to know that he was just outside the glass watching me from a distance in the shadows. Sometimes he phoned the house up and I never answered. I used to take the phone off the hook and I put it by the telly and I used to let it play, you know, so he used to listen to the television and I just left him to it, draining his credit. Things like that. That's what... but now I'm starting to know who I am. I've got the makeup, the hair. Had we have stayed at my last address, do I think I would be doing any of this? I don't think I would. I don't think I'd have evolved forward as a person. I don't think me and my son as people, we would have grown the way we have now. I mean, he's doing well with his own health and doing, you know, college and university and all that sort of stuff. He's got a job. He's doing all right for himself. And I'm just recognizing what, you know, learning about myself, and slowly detaching what was learned behaviours from domestic abuse, rethinking things. That person I was with last is like a distant memory. I mean, every now and again I'll get like a trigger that will pop up in my head, but it certainly isn't to the way that it was. But yeah, having the start, you know, it's great to see changes happening. And they're not noticeable in yourself till moments later, to be honest. I feel quite proud of myself, of the fact that I've managed to do things for myself that he would have been like, no, there's no way you would have been able to have done that. You can't. I've done it, you know. So for me, it is about change, and I'm pretty proud of myself. So yeah, that's my regret, I suppose, is that, yeah, I wish that I'd never met anybody beyond my second husband and learnt to learn who I was, learnt to love being on my own. But I was so frightened of being on my own, that I became like this. It's like these narcissists, they learn how to, they recognise somebody that's vulnerable and needing somebody to lean on, and they tap into your weaknesses. And my regret is the fact that there's a lot of years that I never got to have with my son. We did things, don't get me wrong, me and my son, we did things on our own, but there would always be a person, a person in the relationship that would hate the fact that me and him were having time on our own. We would go for a little drive somewhere. I'd take him to classes. I'd take him to the gym. I'd pick him up from the gym. As he was growing, I'd take him to boxing classes and things like that, kickboxing. I took him to loads and loads of different things. We'd go for a bite to eat on the way home from a class or something, and I treat him. And it always came back at me, why have you gone without me and all this, that and the other. But he, you know, my last one always wanted me and him to do stuff without my son. It'd be like, oh, he won't want to come, he won't want to do this, that and the other. And I used to hate that, because I wanted us all to be able to do things together. And I do regret the fact that for me, I wasn't able to do things with my son like where it was just us. And there were times where I wanted to have got the elephant in the room out, and then he would be like making me feel like it's my imagination, I've got it wrong. And I just keep forgiving him for his behaviours, and yeah, it would carry on until the day of where I just couldn't take any more and I had to get out, and changes had to happen. And I realised exactly what it was. It was emotional abuse, the mental abuse, the financial abuse. It was shit. And then me and my son, we helped each other in our journey. Here we go, using that awful word again, journey. To find out, you know, to sort of repair ourselves as much as possible. And then when we found out we had to move, I didn't want to go, but then at the same time, it was like, no, we need to go. I need to make changes. I need to get away from here and start afresh. I mean, living either, you know, with neighbours either side that just wanted to know your business and were suffocating and draining. And it's like every time you stepped out through your front door and through the back gate, you know, I used to use the back door to come through, and the gate used to rattle because they used to have these great big metal latches that always used to make this really loud noise. So I'd go through one gate, and then by the time I got through to the second gate, there'd always be a neighbour standing, watching, wanting to know, oh, where you going? What you doing? Are you all right? Do you need anything? No, you're all right. And then coming back would always be the same as well. The front gate was always the noisy gate. So yeah, for me it was a relief. I didn't want to move, but at the same time it was such a relief when we stuck two fingers up at the world, moving away from that place and starting afresh, making new memories and learning who we were as people. So yeah, right, I've rambled on long enough. So that'll do for now, but hopefully I will do a bit more in this journal, and I'll do some more updates. So just something a little bit different to the usual humdrum stuff. Yeah, right, 1:15. Time to switch this off and get it uploaded and then think about bed. Right, catch you later, guys. Bye.